Yo, 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 what is happening, everyone? Hope everyone's having a great Monday. And yeah, I hope everyone had a good weekend as well. Obviously, the market's just been going crazy, as per usual, I guess. So I want to go over the best looking altcoins for today. I have a few coins that I'm looking at for longs actually today. Um, yeah, because the market's still looking bullish. Everything's still pointing to the upside. We're going to speak about obviously why we are still bullish as well. And then we're going to speak about potential trades for the week, right? So hopefully we can get some setups within the live stream. I do like doing live trading as well. So we can potentially look at some setups on the lower time frames. So we'll see, because obviously it is London open in 3 minutes, which is why I did want to jump into live now. I wanted to go over what's happening in the market. So as you can just see on crypto bubbles, everything's kind of pumps since last night on the daily. Like CFX is up 51%, which is crazy, right? So I want to speak about what's happening there. Trump's up 15%. We got Jasmine up 15. So yeah, there's a lot of coins that are doing decent now. And yeah, if we look at the weekly, you can see that what a great week for crypto, right? So it's been a one of those weeks that it's hard not to get FOMO, but there's a lot of coins that still haven't popped off. So we're gonna speak about those coins, because I know a lot of people do get like scared and stuff when they see the markets all green, and then they feel like they haven't capitalized on the market, right? So we have to speak about what coins that we can capitalize on right now, and I think that's the most important part. So don't dwell with the coins that have already popped off. Rather look at the new ones that can potentially pop off. Okay, so let's get straight into it. I'm gonna jump straight into it. The first token I'm looking at is this token here, guys, Popcat. I'll show you my screen here. Just give it a second. Alright, so let's get straight into the altcoins. This is the first token I'm looking at is Popcat, guys. I'm actually looking for an entry today. I mean, this token hasn't broken out just yet. Okay, so this has been my trading plan for since last week. If you guys did watch my live stream last week, we were saying, okay, well, Popcoin, Popcat is literally below this key level right over here, right? So this level here has been acting as one of the strongest resistance for Popcat since over here, right? Actually, we can even bring it back to since January 2025, right? It's all the way back over here. Super strong level for Popcat, right? And then what actually happened is we had multiple rejections within the zone. So this level is going to be our key resistance level for Popcat, right? So what needs to happen in order for price to continue higher? Well, we need price to obviously break out of this key level, right? That is the main thing. So if you want to look for a breakout trade, we have to start to see candles close above this level for continuation, right? But like I said, guys, the market right now, sometimes it doesn't give you those pullbacks, and it just gives you shallow retracements, and then we get the move up, right? So what we need to do now is, okay, we can see that, okay, Popcat is currently trading above the key level. It is currently trading above the key level. But the thing is, we closed the daily candle closed respecting this level, right? So the daily candle closed respecting this level, which means that there is a possibility that this could be a rejection zone still, all right? So we do have to wait for the daily candle to close above this level. I would love to take a long right now just based on the daily time frame, but the problem is we are still below resistance, right? That is my only problem for the setup today. So I would want to see price get above this level, right? I want to see price get above this level over here, and then we can look for those continuations. But what we can do is we can look at the lower time frames and maybe look for like a liquidity sweep, and then look for a bullish continuation, right? So I'm going to go straight down to the 4-hour time frame, and you can see that on Popcat, it's looking quite bullish on the 4-hour time frame. You can see that it has closed. Let's just want to draw this line over here to see where the 4-hour closed. You can see the 4-hour close really bullish above this level. The thing is, right now there is a possibility that this can just rip from this level, right? So this is for me, it's like a good potential to jump into like a low leverage long, but we have to wait for the daily close, because based on like the 4-hour, we can look for a long, but the daily time frame is showing us that there is potential for a bit of rejection from this level. We do also have a gap over here that potentially is getting filled right now, which could act as a resistance zone Popcat. So don't rush into these trades right now. I'll show you this gap over here. Let me just make it a different color so you can see. Let's change this to green. Okay, so in order for me to go long for Popcat, guys, without the daily close, okay, this is important. So in order for me to go long for Popcat without the daily close, we have to get above this level here. Okay, so just based on that, 0.4449, right? If we close above this level, that will confirm that the buyers are completely in control, and we can look for continuous upside, right? We can look for trades to the upside, because this gap over here has been serving resistance for a long time, right? We have, I mean, this has been inverted over here. This is the key level for Popcat. We need to see price get above this level here, right above here, and then we look for the longs. Okay, but if, let's just say tomorrow the daily candle closes above this level, then we can just take the trade based on that. But in terms of taking the trade based on the 4-hour time frame, because we are still trading above this level, we still have to wait for price to close above here. Okay, does that make sense? So I won't just enter this trade blindly just looking at this chart, just because of the daily time frame. But if we get price to close above this level on the 4-hour time frame, then we can just go long straight away. And then what you can do is you can just put your stop loss just below this wick over here, and then your TPs are going to be quite aggressive to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of my game plan for the day. That is my game plan for Popcat. Okay, so I will be sharing this in the TG, guys. So if you guys are in the TG, this is what we're looking at, and then you can see over here we are looking for potential setups as well. So make sure you guys do join the TG. But essentially, guys, this is what I'm looking at for Popcat. I honestly think that we can get a push today. You can see right now on the 1-hour time frame we are getting a bit of a move right now. Let's have a look at the 15. So yeah, the problem is it's not valid yet. So this is why I think a lot of traders, you know, they would enter this just based on the structure, but the problem is we didn't get the 4-hour close above the level, right? Because this is a daily level. So in order for a daily level to get respected, you need the other time frames to align with that level, right? If you don't get that, then there's literally just no point of taking the trade, right? Because your daily time frame is going to get the follow through of the trade, right? So Popcat, definitely a trade I'm looking at for the day, guys. We're going to put an alert there, bang, for Popcat. All right. If you guys did just join the stream, welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. If you guys have any altcoins that you want me to go over, we can definitely run through any altcoins that you're looking at. I'm going to jump through quite a lot of altcoins today because, you know, the market has been pumping. The market has been pumping. So I'm trying to look at the altcoin setups that haven't really pumped yet. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult. We are still in that OP long from last week. If you guys are still in this trade, it still looks good. We took this trade over here. Like I said, guys, it was a swing trade looking for that 35% to the upside. We are still long on this setup. It's the same setup as Popcat, right? It's the same similar setup as Popcat, because when OP closed above this level, we got that daily close above the trend line, which Popcat is getting. But we're waiting for that 4-hour close above this level, and that's when we entered, right? And that's the same exact entry for Popcat here, guys. Popcat got the daily close above this level, but we're waiting for the 4-hour close above this level for the entry. Okay, so just to make that clear with you guys, that's what we're looking at. Another token that I'm looking at, this is actually, like, guys, we need to watch out for Cardano, because I think Cardano is going to explode very soon. I mean, just look at this, guys. Cardano right now is on a bit of a breakout potential. Yeah, so if we look at this is probably, like I said, it's probably one of the biggest bull flags I've seen in a minute. You know, if we just look at this chart based on pure price action, you know, if this thing does just break out today, I mean, look at this, guys. It's just been respecting this channel for I don't know how long, right? And then what should happen is we get a breakout here, a retest of this level, and we look for longs for continuation, right? So the upside target is 110%, guys, 111% for Cardano, right? I mean, that's crazy. I honestly think, you know, this is a really good trading opportunity. We will be taking this in the Telegram groups, because the thing is, once we get above this level and we start holding above this trend, there's not much resistance to the upside, right? We can draw like the we can draw the fixed range volume profile, but you know, we're already above the point of control. We're already above the point of control over here. So like, I need to see price start getting above this level, right? I need to start getting seeing price get above this level. But honestly, I'm not really worried about this value area high. I think this will get smoked really easily. So I'm looking at the setup here for Cardano. Like I said, guys, this setup has to be taken on the daily time frame, but yeah, it's just looking super clean right now. I do think that we will get this tomorrow or within this week. You know, Monday, remember Mondays, guys, Mondays are like a bit of a fake move day. So if we do see a dump today, we'll probably see the rest of the week pumpy, right? So there is no news today either. So nothing. There's news a bit tomorrow. Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And then Friday, nothing. Yo, this week's actually, there's literally no news the whole week. Okay, so like it should be quite a clean week in terms of trading. When there's no news during the week, it does give you better opportunities because there's, you know, there's more time for continuation of like whatever your setup you're looking at. So that's what I'm looking at for Cardano. Like honestly, like if we look at the weekly time frame as well, yeah, I mean looking clean, right? So the problem is, like, did the weekly candle close? It closed respecting this level, right? So like the problem is we can't take longs. I know a lot of people would be like, why don't you just go long right now? Well, the problem is we are still below resistance, right? When we still below resistance, how can we take a long? Because if you're longing into resistance, you're basically longing into a fake out, right? You're basically longing into a wick, you know? Wait for the candle to close above the level, then take the long. Just have a little bit of patience, right? That's the main thing. Okay, so regardless of if this closes above, we'll still get an entry. Like if our entry might not be as good, but we'll have confirmation that this is going up rather than just having a guess of a 50-50 directional play, right? So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for Cardano. I mean, if you look at the weekly time frame, you can't tell me this is not looking bullish, right? Like, so that's what I'm looking at, guys. So can you do SPX? Of course. Can you do CRV, HCR, Pangu, Reserve Rice, ADA? Everything is bullish. Yeah. For the audio was a perfect textbook example for the perfect trade. Yeah, I mean everything does look bullish. Like it is a bit frustrating right now because we have to look for the tokens that haven't really pumped too hard, right? You know, CFX. Don't know what's happening there, but let's just go over your alts and then we'll have a look. But another token that I'm looking at was Hype. Do you guys remember our live stream from last week? It hit our entry perfectly on the weekend. We're literally waiting for this, right? Literally waiting for this. Do you guys remember how we were speaking about Hype coming back down to the 0.5, right? So price did come down to the 0.5 fib. You know, this would have been your entry over here, right? Because this is where we broke previous high. That would have been your entry over there, right over here. And you got a trend line breakout as well. Yeah, I did miss the setup, I'll be honest. I think this was yesterday. I wasn't really trading much yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a textbook retest as well. So Hype's looking decent. The problem is, like, taking a long here, you know, your stop loss is going to have to be below here, right? You're going to have quite a big stop loss. Your TP, you know, it's going to be like a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So nothing really like I'm that interested in terms of, but you know, this would have been the entry. I'm sure some of you guys would have got that, but yeah, I didn't see this trade yesterday, but yeah, this was the idea. You know, it literally tapped the 0.5 level perfectly, and yeah, we did get a trend line breakout on the 1 hour time frame as well. So Hype is still looking good to the upside. Okay, but let's have a look at some other tokens that you guys are looking at. So we've got, let's have a look here. There are some team unlocks coming for Hype. Oh really? Okay, interesting. I mean, Hype's looking really bullish right now. So let's have a look here. So what are we looking at? SPX, audio, SPX. Yeah, it's quite hard right now. Like, yeah, this was our trade like a while ago, right? We took this trade, I think last week or something, and then it's the same thing, right? These trend lines just place like really well in terms of how crypto moves, right? You see how price respects to this level. You just get, this is what I've been saying, guys. You get bull flags after bull flags, right? Like this is a small little bull flag, we get a pump, and then you get like a small little bull flag over here. You know, like it's actually crazy, right? This is in terms of like this type of this part of the cycle, the market's gonna move up really quick, right? So it's gonna be like boom, 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 right? And then we're not gonna get these deep retracements anymore, right? We're just gonna get like shallow retracements, then shallow retracements, and then shallow like. So it's hard to get an entry on the tokens that are pumping, right? Because the thing is, it's going to try to leave you behind, right? So anyway, let's just have a look at audio on the weekly time frame, and then we'll have a look at the lower. So I mean audio, oh, this is SPX, sorry, my bad. I mean SPX super bullish right now, broken the highs. And let me try to find a different chart though, because when would it normally gets listed on Qcoin or Mexi first? I think Mexi. Let me check Qcoin, because there'll be more data as well. I think Qcoin lists quite early. Alright, I guess it's all the same. I think it's all, so SPX pretty much all-time high, I guess. I think the only entry that we can get for SPX is a retest trade. You know, like entering right now at all-time highs is just not really going to do anything for me. If price does somehow come down and retest this level over here, then fine, we can look for longs. But like we would have to wait for price to come to this level, right? You can't just take a trade right now and put your stop loss below there. It just doesn't make sense, because you're at all-time high, right? So unless price comes to this point, there's just nothing really that we can do here. Although it's just looking super bullish. You know, you can even just draw this trend line and then just yeah, I mean the problem is right now it's pretty much at all-time high. I would have to see price come down or like something like that, right? There's just nothing really we can do here, I'll be honest. Like we'd have to wait for price to come back down, retest, and then look for bullish, consolidate above this level, and then look for bullish continuation. So that's pretty much the only thing that we can do for SPX. Anyway, I'm looking at this token here. I'll run through it just now, but let's have a look at audio quickly. Let's have a look at audio. Alright. Okay, so if we look at audio, I mean audio is looking bullish, right? Alright, let's have a look at audio, yeah, on the daily. Okay, first of all, I mean we closed above. Did we close above this previous high? We did close above the previous level over here, but we do have this bearish gap over here that we did obviously get respected by, right? So the problem is right now, like we could still flip bearish here, I'll be honest, right? There is this level over here that price needs to get above on the daily time frame in order for this to, yeah. The problem, that's only my issue for this right now. The thing is, this is your key level, guys. You can see it's a bit of a W pattern as well. So like if this has to play out, this is a perfect textbook like W pattern. So essentially, you know, if this does play out, we're looking at quite a big target here, back up to these highs, right? Literally back up to these highs. So what we need to see is we need to see a daily candle close above this green little box over here, right over here, and then we have all these levels to the upside that we can potentially take out, right over here. So these would be like the TP levels to the upside for audio. But the thing is, right now, you know, getting an entry for audio off this double bottom, I mean that was literally your entry there. But in terms of taking longs right now, you can't, because you're still respecting resistance. Although we are above resistance right now, at any given point of time, this can still flip bearish, right? Which is why it's always important to wait for the daily candle to close, because anything can happen in trading. You know what I mean? Anything can happen in trading. So when you see things like this, when you see the daily candle close respecting resistance, right? Price is closing respecting, right? This daily candle over here close respecting. right? And then when you see the next day candle start trying to take out those highs, and then potentially flip bearish, that is going to be a clear rejection level, and you should be cautious, right? So that is why I do wait for these levels to close before we jump into longs, right? But then you can go down to lower time frames and see if there's like an entry as well. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that, okay, on the 4-hour we have this level here, right? So that is your previous wick to, from that previous swing high, right? So if I have a look at that, okay, I can see, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, audio is actually retesting this previous high as well. If we look at the 1-hour time frame, we can see that, okay, we are still, we did create like this, we did grab liquidity, we did potentially create like a double bottom over here. But for an entry, the thing is, we still have so much like to the upside over here. I would have to wait for like the 15-minute close above this level here for confirmation. That is my only entry, because the problem is right now, like entering just off based on the daily time frame. But the problem is, if you look at the daily, like I said, we still below resistance, right? So we need to see confirmation. We need to see price start to take out these levels before we go long, right? So I would have to wait for price to close above this level over here in order to take the entry today. Although we can just wait for tomorrow and wait for the daily close. But this is what I'd probably wait for today, right? And the nice thing about this, you can just have your stops just below this low as well. So your stops will just be below this low, and then your TP will be at this high over here. But obviously you'll have TPs along the way as well. Okay, so this is something that I'm waiting for audio. Maybe we get this today, maybe not. But like I said, it's probably best to just wait for the daily candle to close, because audio hasn't actually broken out yet, right? So that's another token that we can obviously look at for the breakout. So that's Popcat and audio. These are the two trades that I'm waiting for today. If you guys did just join, we are waiting for Popcat long once we get a closure above 0.4449 on the 4-hour time frame. Popcat looks ready to pop. So that is what I'm looking at. All right. What else are we looking at today? Zero didn't pump yet. Let's have a look at Zero. I also want to have a look at Zero as well. Reserve rights, ADA. Yeah, ADA is also looking super strong, which is what we went over as well. So let's look at Zero quickly. I will go over all the tokens like Pangu, ATR, and all of that as well. Just want to check Zero, because I know Zero hadn't pumped yet. So let's have a look there. And I do back Zero as well. I do think it's a decent token. So let's see. Let me have a look here. Right. Yeah, I mean, I bought Zero in this box over here, I think a couple weeks ago. This was my entry. Like, I think Zero is, like, it was pretty simple play, just pretty much like a double bottom. Liquidity, literally try to take out these lows, continue up to the upside. But regardless of that, let's just remove all of this drawing so we can make it a little bit more clear. All right. So right now for Zero, if we look at let's have a look at the weekly. What's happening on the weekly time frame? So weekly time frame, we can see, right, we do have this bearish fair value gap sitting over here, which is something that we can look to potentially fill for today, or this week. So that's going to be something to note, right? We did obviously close bullish, respecting. We closed actually above this previous weekly high, and this weekly candle has created a bottom wick as well. So that's something to note already, right? So when you're looking for like long positions, guys, just like a quick side little tip, when you're looking for long positions on a trade, let's just say you wait for the candle to close, okay, above a level or like respecting a level. You want to wait. For me personally, I like to wait for like a bottom wick to be formed before I jump into the trade, right? Because in order for price to continue going upward, price needs to grab liquidity in order to get that push, right? So when you see like the weekly candle already creating a bottom wick, it potentially means that we might have already grabbed some liquidity in order for price to continue going higher, right? So that is definitely something to note on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see it's a little bit choppy, a lot of wicks to the upside. you know, let's just have a look over here. So this was obviously that breakdown over here. That was obviously that breakdown. We are currently trading below resistance over here. It's the same thing though. Like, this is such a large imbalance. It's a large gap where a lot of sellers will be looking to look for sells in this area. Yeah, I just don't really see anything at this zone. There's just too many wicks right now at this level. But if we do have a look over here on the 4-hour time frame, we can see that, okay, a 4-hour time frame is showing a bit of a reaccumulation at this level, right? So what I'd want to see is, let's have a look here. The 1 hour will give us a bit more confirmation here. So what I'd want to see here is, you see we are trying to break out right now. You can see multiple wicks within this zone. Okay, so I'd wait for price to close above these wicks. Very similar setup to what we took, I think it was last week, right? Not the grass setup, it pumped and then it went straight back down to break even. But where was that trade? Yeah, it was the OP trade. Oh no, it was the Casper trade. It's the same setup as the Casper trade, right? So I want to wait for price to break above this level, right? So I want to wait for price to close above this level here, retest that zone, and we get the push up. Casper did play out from the setup, but we didn't take it. But this is the exact same setup that I'm waiting for here. So it's all about being patient, right? London station just came online, so you know, we might see a bit of manipulation before we see the real move, right? So I would want to see something like this, right? Where we can look for those bullish continuation longs, and you can just play it to these highs, right? Stop loss just below these lows. Very nice risk to reward on this trade. Let's just make this color a little bit different so we can see it a bit more. So that is what I would be looking at for the day for Zero, right? Because obviously we are bullish, and I do think that, you know, Zero can potentially fill this gap over here to the upside. But the thing is, we need to wait for price to close above this level, right? Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting rejected. Does that make sense? It's always about waiting for the candle to close above, because that is when, if the candle closes above, it means there's potential for, you know, continuation. Whereas when we just see wicks and chop like this, you know, you're giving yourself an opportunity to, you know, fail at these points. Because I'd rather get a worse entry than entering on a 50% chance, right? So a 50-50 chance over here rather than like a higher, you know, 70, depending on the win rate, right? But your chance over here would be way higher because you have confirmation that price is going to go to the upside, right? So I'd wait for price to break out of this level, and then we would look for continuation longs. And this is on the 1 hour time frame, okay? So this is what I would wait for today for Zero. So I'm going to put an alert here. Make sure you guys also do the same thing. Put alerts on your charts. It just makes life a lot easier, just so you don't have to just stare at the charts the whole day and wait for your setups to obviously come into play, right? So that's Zero. That's the setup I'm looking at for the week. What else we got? Potential entries for ICT. We'll check it out. Zero didn't pump high. Any updates on OP, Deep, Flowy, which we need to focus? Yeah, so OP, let's just run. These are the trades that we took last week. OP is still in profit, guys. OP is still in profit. Looking super bullish still. My end off target is like 0.954. I'm still bullish on this. Remember how we spoke about price respecting this level here last week, and it did. So that's that. Flowy, yeah, I mean Flowy just pumped super hard from our entry. This was our trade for Flowy last week. That was absolutely insane. I mean, Flowy can just continue higher here, guys. So you know, it hit all the TPs like pretty much instantly, but it's looking super bullish. I would look to hold, if you are in this setup, you know, I would look to hold Flowy back up to like 0.2. It's looking super bullish, right? You know, we got a really nice entry. We up around about almost 50% from that trade, right? We almost up 50% from that Flowy trade, which is absolutely crazy. Right. So that's Flowy, and then the last setup that we are still in is the deep setup. Deep. I think deep we like sitting at break even almost. Yeah. So the deep setup is still looking fine. It's actually still looking really good. I'll be honest. Like I'm still in this trade, guys. Deep still looks good for an entry. If you guys want to look for a good setup right now, we took this long last week in the channel, and it still looks good. It did pump super hard. I did take some profits over here because I was a bit over leveraged. I have a 2x leverage, and then I had like a 13x leverage. So on my 13x, I did actually manage to close some over here, but I'm still long on the 2x one. So I'm expecting still more upside for deep here, guys. Like I said, deep is one of those tokens that hasn't really pumped yet. So it's definitely good to have a look at this. So if you guys are just joining into the live stream, this is the token that we did trade last week. You'll have a look over here. This is what we got in around about 19,600. And then you can see like it pumps super hard. So I took most of my profit on this one, but then I had the 2x running as well on that trade. So yeah, that was that OP long, and the OP is literally sitting at around about 0.8 now. So yeah, so we still in deep. OP and Flowy still looks, all of them still look good to continue holding. Do you think today is the pump? Maybe. I hope so. Like I said, I am looking for all of those setups that we did go over. But anyway, let's have a look at Pangu right now. I think a lot of people are focused up on Pangu because can we enter deep long now, or is it too late? You can enter deep long now. I do think that it's still valid, guys. Just go low leverage, right? I would go like a 3 to 5x leverage, low leverage long. Look for continuation. Yeah, guys, it's a good setup. We are still respecting these levels very nicely, right? These are the targets. Okay, so just lock in, right? I mean, I think it's a really good setup, and it's based on the high time frame. So this, like I said, guys, these trades that we are giving now are going to be a bit of a longer, higher time frame perspective because, you know, in this type of market, you do want to be holding on to your winners, right? Because if we do get like these massive pumps in a day, you know, you want to make sure that you're holding on to these pumps. You know, you don't want to be. I mean, obviously taking profits is definitely like that's like my whole thing, but you know, if you can obviously capitalize on the pumps, then you know, you obviously want to do that. So yeah, deep is still very valid. Yeah, very much valid for the longs, guys. So yeah. Right. So let's see what happens. What else are we looking at? What is it, Pangu? I mean, Pangu's just absolutely rips it, eh? Yeah, I think it's just like everything's everything's ready to rip. Alright, so if we look at Pangu, I mean, this is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying with these shallow retracements, right? So you'll get a pump, and then like this was quite a deep retracement, right? And then you get a pump, and then this was super shallow, right? Super shallow, pump, huge pump, super shallow, massive pump, right? It's hard to get entries on these tokens that are doing these things, right? Because the problem is it's just not, because like in terms of trading, like you want to see retracements in order for price to grab liquidity, right? And when price doesn't give you the retracement that you're looking for, it's definitely harder to get an entry, right? Because you don't want to front run a pump, and then you just get absolutely annihilated, right? So like anyway, it's looking decent here for Pangu. I mean, what we can do is we can just mark out this previous high over here, look at the 4-hour time frame, and let's see what this breakout. So the breakout literally just happened right now. If somehow we do get a retracement here, let's have a look at the 1 hour quickly. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll probably look for maybe a little bit of a deeper one, yeah. But something like this, guys, if Pangu can somehow, you can see we got a breakout here, right? I'm just going to draw these lines and just to show you the target of this breakout is going to be quite insane. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty much to where we want it to go. Okay. I would love to see a retest here. If somehow we can get a retest here, hopefully we get a retracement today. We get a retest. I mean, this would be the best setup for the day, hands down, because we did get a confirmed breakout here. If we do get a retest of this level, we're looking at a nice 30% to 40% up potential pump here on Pangu. But like, it's impossible to take the trade right now. I'll be honest with you. So just be patient. I would wait for this. I'm gonna put an entry, like an alert here for Pangu. Because this is gonna be your entry zone, right? If we look at the 15, yeah, the problem is like it's probably just gonna rip. But the only way we can take entries here is looking at this level here. Okay. So Pangu looking good, but can we take the long right now? Of course we can't. We have to wait for price to obviously hold this level. Okay. Bitcoin already broke the trend line. Can we enter Lista USD and 1000x USD? Yeah, sure. AVAX. Let's have a look at Lista. I mean, we can look at Lista. But yeah, Pangu looks good there, guys. Make sure you guys put your alerts there as well for that, because definitely a token I'm looking at right now. Yeah, this thing's looking juicy, bro. This thing's looking juicy. I mean, this thing's about to break out as well. This is looking very similar to the other setup we took this week as well. Alright, so like, let's just, if we look at Lista right now, have a look at the daily time frame. So like I said, guys, most tokens have already pumped, but Lista hasn't yet, right? So we still have Lista that is respecting this level right over here. Yeah, sure. I'll look at all of you guys' tokens, guys. So if we look at this, price is still respecting. We have multiple wicks in the zone above this level over here. This is going to be your resistance, right? And the problem is with Lista, what I'm not really liking is there's too many upside wicks over here, right? Obviously, when we do get the breakout, it will take out all of these wicks. But it's all about the confirmation game. Like, taking longs right now, it does make sense, but only makes sense to me if we do get that breakout, right? We can't take the long if we don't get the breakout, because the thing is, if we take the long right now, we're longing straight into this. You're longing to all of this wickage over here, right? Why would you want to risk that, right? So what I'll do here on the daily time frame, I'm just going to draw the levels of the potential targets to the upside here, just so we know what we're looking at. These are going to be the 2 wicks I'm looking at. Let's go straight down to the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, so if we look at the 1 hour time frame, we can see, okay, let me just remove this. Yeah, there's just nothing really we can do here, unless we just wait for the breakout of this previous high right over here. There's just nothing I can really do for Lista, unless we just wait for that daily close. Yeah, I just don't like the structure. It's just like these ranges, like this range over here is really big, right? You know, you're looking at like a 10% range. I just don't really like the token structure, to be honest with you. In order for me to go long, you know, I guess this is your entry. And the problem is the wicks are too big in terms of scalp trading, right? Yeah, I'm not really liking the look of this, I'll be honest. So I'm probably just gonna leave Lista. Like, the thing is, my only entry on this would probably just be the daily time frame, right? I would wait for that would be the only level, because if you take it based on the 4 hour, your stop loss like would have to be below here, but you just don't really have any confirmation. Whereas if you wait for price on the daily time frame to break above here, then you have the confirmation that you can potentially go higher, right? So I would probably just wait for that for potential upside, okay? But yeah, I get what you're looking at there. PHA, Can we look at 1000x USD? Yeah, sure. I've never heard of this token, but we'll check it out. Well, this thing is actually looking super, like, beautiful, actually, I'll be honest. Have a look at this. I mean, this thing looks like it wants to break out, bro. I see why you're looking at this token. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously like a clear breakout. But not just yet, right? We haven't broken just yet. But this is definitely something that I'll wait for, right? This token literally been trading in a sideways. I don't know what this is, but you know, we've been going sideways for around about almost 270 days, right? 256 days of just pure sideways price action, yeah. So, you know, like I said, if you guys remember the XRP trade that we took a couple of weeks ago, it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Price went sideways from over here for around about if we take it from here, actually. So price went sideways for 220 days, right? And then what happened? We got the breakout and we just absolutely ripped, right? Remember, the longer we go, we consolidate, the bigger the breakouts, right? It's just accumulating liquidity at these levels. So basically, the longer, I mean, this thing has just been going side. I don't really know what this is, but I mean, it looks super juicy, I'll be honest. So basically, you just have to wait for the daily close, yeah. This would be a beautiful trade. You have targets all the way to the upside, yeah. I mean, this is pretty clean. You can even look to just target this high over here for the scalp. So I'd wait for this. You know, it's just a break of trend, I guess. Holy moly! I mean, this thing can pump super hard. Okay, I actually dig what's happening over here. I don't know what this token is. I'm gonna do a bit of research after this to see if it's actually like a valid token to actually go long on. But look at your stop loss, bro. Yeah, your stop loss, it's telling us our stop loss is 168%. Because normally, so basically, like when you're on TradingView, you click on the long position. It gives you like a set stop loss. You can see it already, so it's already 38%. It's showing you that this coin is volatile, right? So it's telling you that your stop loss should be around about 38%, which is kind of crazy, right? But I mean, if we break out over here, guys, we're looking at like almost 800% to the upside. If this token is a good token and it's a valid token. So I will do some research on this today, but I mean, this breakout could be massive, right? You know, we still have time, you know, we still have 15 hours, so all good. But I'll definitely have a look at this because this is looking super juicy. Like, this is looking like a textbook trade, I'll be honest. Okay. So yeah. PHA, Bitcoin, breakup structure 1 hour, please confirm. Bitcoin did a break trend, eh? So this is like my thoughts on Bitcoin quickly before we jump into Bitcoin. Yeah, I think oh, Popcat's crossing that level. Shit. Okay, wait. Things are happening right now. Let's have a look at Bitcoin quickly. So if we look at Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is looking decent. It took out the previous day low. You know, basically formed a bit of a double bottom, looking absolutely juicy here. If we do look at the 4 hour time frame, we do have this breakout over here right now. We've pretty much just confirmed the breakout as well. If we look at the 15, it will probably make more sense. Yeah, there's your breakout, I guess. So Bitcoin looking super good here. Like, honestly, we've really broken out. I'm looking for potential continuation back up to like 121, right? This is your previous day high over here. Looking super juicy for continuation. Like I said, Bitcoin right now, it's already taken out the lows over here. It's already taken out these levels. I don't see us coming back down. Massive liquidity sweep over here, trying to take out these lows. Took these lows out. This would be a good entry. As you flip bullish, you take the longs. We did get a confirmation of the 1 hour candle closing above the trend as well. Everything is pointing to the upside for Bitcoin right now. I mean, what we can do is we can take the level of the fixed range volume profile just from here to here to see like where we're looking at. But are we actually at the value area high right now? So that's something to watch out for. But like I said, we did break out, we did break trend. We are currently at the value area high, which is something to watch out for. But in terms of continuation, maybe just wait for, I didn't take this trade right now. It would have been better if we got the trade on the 50-minute close, like over here. But the problem is, if you, like for me right now, like before a scalp, your stop loss is going to be here, minus 1%, and then your take profit is going to be here, which is also plus 1%. So you're looking at a 1-to-1 on this Bitcoin long. I guess it can continue higher, but like I said, Mondays are normally a bit strange. So we don't have any news, but Monday is sometimes a bit of a fake move. But it's essentially Bitcoin does look good. Like I said, I wouldn't take the long now just because we kind of missed it already. And our stops, the problem with the stops is going to be below here, right? So the stop loss, if the stop loss is below here and our TP is here, I just don't really see the point of the trade right now. So yeah, not really interested in that for Bitcoin. What I'd maybe wait for here is the 1 hour candle to close above this value area high, and then what we can do is potentially put our stops just below this level here, and then look for continuation to the upside. That's something to look at. But I'm probably just gonna focus on the altcoins there. I think that's where it's at right now. Before I jump into any other altcoins, I just want to speak about the total 3 quickly, because total 3 did close above the point of control of this range. So if we draw the fixed rate volume profile of this whole range over here, you can see that we are trading above this point of control here right now. The next key level, guys, is going to be 1 trillion, like $1.14 trillion, which is pretty much this high. We can potentially get that level today, right? I'm not saying that we can't, but it just seems like everything's just super overboard, right? Like overboard right now, right? But this is what happens in this type of market, right? The market just continues and continues, and it has these shallow retracements, and we continue up, and we just don't get those big retracements that everyone is just waiting for. And I think that's where a lot of people get, left behind, which is why we have to be a bit more aggressive on our entries. If that makes sense. So like for the Popcat trade, like I know it looks super juicy and like you guys want to get in right now, but rather wait for the confirmation, right? I want to wait for, okay, well, you can see how it's pumping. It's like how it keeps pumping into this level over here, this 0.449, right? It keeps getting rejected from this level, right? Why does it keep getting rejected? Because that's your strong resistance, right? That is where people are looking to trap you. So why don't we just wait for price to close above there to confirm that, okay, this move could potentially go higher? So I think that's where we just have to wait for, right? Rather just wait for these things to close before we jump in, right? Wait for that 4 hour close above that level. Wait for the sellers to be out on the market, and then we just trade with the buyers, right? We'd rather be in a trade that just continues. So I'd wait for that. Patience. Just have patience, guys. You just have to wait for these entries, because this is where people get rinsed, right? When the market's pumping up, a lot of people just want to go long. A lot of people just want to go long, and it makes sense. I mean, obviously, like we all want to make money, but rather wait for the confirmations before jumping into these trades. So that's what I'm waiting for that. Yeah. So what else we got? All right. That's all I'm pretty much looking at, guys, today. Like, I mean, there's a lot of coins right now, but nothing's really ready for entry yet, except for that deep. If you guys are in this token, I think deep's still valid, guys. Deep's still valid. Yeah, nothing really else that I'm looking at right now. There was one more token, it's FLR, guys. So I'm looking at this token. I haven't taken the trade just yet, but I was looking to long this token. Have a look at this. We are holding this fair value gap here on the 4 hour time frame. On the 1 hour, we are retesting this level. Everything's kind of pointing in the upside for FLO. Yeah. So what I'm waiting for is I want to see a solid rejection off the zone, and then I'll post the setup in the Telegram group. So this is going to be the trade for the day. Like I said, I've got a few trades lined up for the day. But FLR is definitely something I'm looking at for a quick scalp to the upside, because our stop loss is just going to be below this low, around about a 1.9% stop. TPs are going to be in total around about 7.3% to the upside. So this is something to watch out for. So yeah, I will be posting this in the Telegram group, guys, over here. So make sure you guys do join this group. If you guys want to join this group, the links are in the description. But yeah, this is where we do take all the trades. You can see last week we did print. We took us along on grass, and then we ended up hitting break even, which is we're very good at managing our positions in deep. We pumped super hard, and then OP was also pumping, which we're still in this position, by the way, for OP. So make sure you guys do join the Telegram group. It's really fun. We do obviously give setups for you guys, and yeah, like I said, I do appreciate all of you guys for joining today. I hope you guys did enjoy the session. I will be posting this FLR setup when obviously we get this 1 hour candle to close, and then also all the other tokens that we did go over. I will be posting all the analysis and the setups within today. Hopefully we do get the setups. Like I said, guys, wait for these candles to close. Super important. Don't just jump in blindly. I know it's one of those times, right, where people just want to jump in and make money. I mean, everyone wants to, but just wait for these candles, guys. Wait for the confirmation. Wait for the closes. And Pangu as well, guys. If Pangu gets down to our entry, yeah, this is gonna be the trade of the day. So make sure you guys put an alert here for Pangu, because if Pangu does come back down for a retest here, I'm gonna jump in super hard, super aggressive, going up for those longs. So we do need to see quite a big retracement for Pangu, though. That's the only problem, right? Pangu, you're looking at a 5 to 6% retracement. Hopefully we can get that. I'm not too sure if we can. But like I said, we can't get an entry otherwise. So that is all I've got for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy the live. I'll be streaming 3 times a week now. So I've decided to do a Monday stream because I like to speak about the what happened on the weekend. And yeah, I'll be streaming on Wednesday and Friday. So make sure you guys do tune in. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you do like the stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace out. Bye bye.